What's up, guys? Big M here, Afghanistan. Let's get into it.
It's just horrendous.
It's just horrendous. Look at this, right? You've got members here of 2 para and 3 para within meters of Taliban. 2 decades of fighting, 2 different sides of the war within meters of each other. I honestly can't comprehend that. You know, as someone like, you know, I've been to Afghanistan myself. I did multiple tours there. To me, this is just it's just another level of shock and awe how close they are. I guess both sides are in the face of the enemy, and the main focus is the evacuation of British nationals and people fleeing this regime, this oppressive regime. Like, this is the highlight of the news at the moment, and rightly so. 2 decades of warfare, of sadness, anger, anguish, loads of mixed opinions, and throughout the veteran community there is a lot of sadness and anger, and you know, my feelings are shared amongst them. I just feel such sadness for the people of Afghanistan. I just feel so sad for the people of Afghanistan to be now under this rule. It's a hard pill to swallow. It is a hard pill to swallow. And I do personally think the withdrawal could be handled a bit differently.
Taliban hitting people, paras with no choice but to hold the line.
Look at this guy here. Look, he's just handing out sticks to lash people. People getting lashed for trying to flee this regime. Now, you can say what you want about the Afghanistan campaign. You can say it was all in vain. You can say it was all a waste of life. It was misery. But what we can say back to that is there's been a chance of hope. People have seen what it's like to not be under that oppressive, sadistic rule. And that's why people are fleeing. Look, that's why people are dying to leave. And I say dying to leave, I mean literally dying to get out of this. We've all seen the videos of the awful cases of people falling off. They're clutching onto aircraft with their dear life, trying to flee this regime. Now that the Taliban are in power, they're trying to flee. They'll do anything they can to flee this oppression, hanging on to the base of an aircraft and people fall into their deaths. That's the measure of how, that's the desperation to get away from it. And as you can see here, you've got the paratroopers on the left trying to do what they can, and they're doing a fantastic job. You know, we find out every day that they're doing some great stuff, whether it be evacuating kids, helping these nationals get out of this environment and get back through safety. You know, it's a very difficult thing, and to be one of these guys meters away from the enemy, fair play.
The road to safety is packed, thousands upon thousands. It's hard to put into words.
Look at this guy here, just beating people in the street.
Will not get through.
Stay there! Stay there!
Sergeant Major Gazmat Man has a man's passport. On a container, he calls him forward. A Talib fighter lets him through. He passes the passports back.
It's so weird. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of it. It's so weird, like, how there's some measure of, like, working together. You know, like, the Taliban and this paratrooper here kind of working together in a weird sense. I can't grasp it. It's such a weird thing to grasp. It's such a weird thing for me to grasp. But allowing this person, we don't know what's going on behind all this, back in the city, like back in the districts, back in the towns. We don't know what's happening. We've seen things on the BBC News. We've seen these press conferences. We've seen these promises of amnesty, these promises of safety and resolve and forgiveness. But I'm not too convinced that's true. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this will be a different Afghanistan to what it was 20 years before when Taliban were last in power? Let me know below your thoughts.
But he has to wait.
Oh, you can see then. He obviously got let through. Let's watch that bit again. So he's getting let through now. And you can see by his expression, I think he gets lashed or hit by this Taliban guy here. Let's have a look.
He passes the passports back, but he has to wait.
Yeah, he's been clapped. He's been clapped by that Taliban guy there. Almost to say, get back.
The shipping containers have been put on the road to keep the gates of the British compound clear. People funneled through.
Now, someone who's been to Afghanistan, and I know, you know, there'll be people in the comments who will also experience this. This kind of build-up, this kind of channeling can be daunting for a soldier. These sort of tactics were utilised in the past for, you know, suicide bombings, vehicle-borne IEDs. You're always, as a soldier, and I know I would be in this situation, I would be like constantly on edge, worrying about, is there going to be an explosion? Is there going to be an attack? All these thoughts going through these guys' heads. This is a tough job. This is a tough job, and these guys are doing a great job. So, to all those out there, I hope you all get back safe. You stay sharp, and I hope everything just goes to plan as best it can. It's just mind blowing. It's mind blowing to be that close to like Taliban. I just don't know. That'd be a hard pill to swallow and accept.
The main shield wall!
Soldiers called up to reinforce the human wall beyond. It's constant. Once through, it's better, but not much. Again, thousands penned in as the identification process goes on.
Desperation to leave.
Troops are now working together, trying to differentiate the countries the evacuees should go to. It's fair to say the soldiers have never seen anything like this, even the old hands.
Sometimes you have it like absolutely rammed with people pushing and chaos outside. Other times it sort of calms down. What happens?
Sometimes we can manage to calm the crowd down using the local nationals to calm them down. When they see the process is working, they're calm. When they start getting a bit hot, dehydrated or whatever, people start getting annoyed. We tend to find a lot of the people causing the disturbances haven't got the correct documentation, so they sort of know their chance in their arms, and that's how that one.
And I suppose really,
I guess that's true as well. There will be people trying their luck, you know, of course. Not everyone's going to have the right documentation here, but they're trying their best to get away from this regime. That's the desperation. That's the level of, like, will. They want to leave this place. They don't want Taliban rule there. They're doing everything they can. They're chancing everything they can to get away. And as you can all imagine, it probably does cause a lot of stress and make the job hard and difficult. What's your thoughts, guys? Let me know below.
really, this is all about time, isn't it? You've just got to crack on.
No, that's it. I'm not going to be here forever.
It could be days.
Who knows?
Some heading to America have their contact's name held in the air. They've been here for hours, but Spencer hasn't come.
We've been in contact. The crowd is just crazy. No one is helping, and I don't know if this keeps going, no one will get help. We are requesting the government to fix this.
Are you going to America or to
America. I've been working with them for 5 years.
There's a lot of people that worked alongside the Americans, the British, other NATO forces. There's a lot of people here now living in absolute fear. Who's gonna knock on the door at 3 a.m. in the morning? Who's watching my family? Who's watching my kids go to schools, or who's following me? There is a great level of fear. I don't know if I believe quite what the Taliban have said in their the press conference even, about this amnesties. I don't know. I do not know. I can hand on heart, honestly think I would truly hope that there would be some kind of measure of forgiveness and amnesty for the people of Afghanistan, but I just don't know. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it will happen, and I know there'll be a lot of people going missing. Yeah, it's such a sad thing. And like I said earlier, we all have opinions on the campaign itself. I firmly believe, I knew deep down we were never we were never going to be in Afghanistan permanently. There was always going to be a withdrawal. There was always going to be an exit plan. It's just sad to see the way it's all panned out. It's just sad to see the way it's panned out and how quickly Taliban have just regained all this control. And there's a famous saying amongst the Taliban. It's a famous saying, and it is true. They say, "You have your watches, but we have the time." And that's what it was. They just bided their time, waited for the forces, our forces, coalition forces, lower in the footprint, and then when we leave, they take over, and that's just what's happened. And it's just at the cost of lives, misery, and sadness and upset. But that's just this. And I just hope the future of this, there is some light in the tunnel. I hope there is some light in the tunnel, and I hope that people can get out, and I just hope that the soldiers here get out unscathed, safe, back home to their families.
It's hot, blisteringly hot. British soldiers spot a baby in danger. They take control. With their family in tow, they make their way to the British compound. These are combat soldiers, remember. But they also care about what's happening to the people here.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that the news are finally showing that. You know, I'm glad that the news are showing that throughout my 3 tours of Afghanistan, we were constantly helping the locals, and you could see it in their faces, the sheer happiness when we helped out in the villages. You know, these people don't want tyrannical rule, they don't want tyrannical oppression, and it's a breath of fresh air when they have help and there's like hope. I'm glad the news is showing this. Let me know in the comments below, guys, how you feel about this. I'm glad that the media is actually showing soldiers helping, you know, because that's what we did. That's what we did. We helped. We tried to help the people of Afghanistan when we were there.
Well, it's absolute pandemonium, but funny enough, it's not chaos, it's actually just chaotic. The British and American soldiers are now working together, and that is a massive change, and it's really improved the system, but they're still trying to separate the people. You look down here, I mean, you know, there are thousands. They're working their way through it as best they can. Point to remember, though, is if you come this side, beyond the containers, it's absolute chaos down there, and they're just queuing to try and get inside.
Over the heads of the evacuees, another transporter plane takes off. That's what they're here for, the flight to safety. In the midst of all this sadness, sometimes, just sometimes, you see joy breaking out. They are going in. Wahid was a British Army translator in Helmand. Now he and his family are going to the UK. It's been agreed.
This is a very happy day in my life.
This is good news. You know, these people, these interpreters risk their lives, not only their lives, the lives of their families, to help us in the campaign over the last 20 years. You know, for me, absolutely, you know, you earn every single right to live in our country. Absolutely. To get away from that and to seek refuge in our country is the least they deserve. They've put so much more on the line than we have. These guys go on tour or go on ops and then they go home. They're constantly living in that wartime environment. There's that constant threat. Their family are being watched, you know, and people like Terps, these interpreters, like people like this guy himself, they've lost lives. Their families have been killed off. It's glad to see that you know, some of them are getting out.
Yeah.
Have you got family in Britain?
No.
So you're the first.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Britain. That's my first trip to Britain.
And so you're waiting just to get processed?
Yes.
Was it scary outside?
Yes, it was very scary. It was very hard to find outside. Like a zombie.
Yeah.
Like a zombie.
So zombie land.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you most excited about in Britain?
To educate my family and my children to Britain and Britain, and become an engineer and doctor in Britain and serve for Afghanistan and for British people.
Fantastic.
Oh,
Do you
great.
know where you're going?
No, I don't know. I'm sure. I'm not sure where we'll be, but it will be Britain.
But somewhere.
And somewhere, yeah.
Time is running out for this evacuation. There is no doubt in that. It's just a matter of how long.
What's your thoughts, guys? Let me know in the comments below. It's chaotic time right now in Afghanistan. Thoughts are with all the families, and you know, I wish all the soldiers who are deployed, I wish them all a safe deployment, and I hope they come home soon. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.